Hello and welcome you all to in this session, this teleconferencing session. आज के सेशन में मैं आरएसपी सिंह और हमारे साथ हमारी कोलीग डॉक्टर दिव्या ओझा हैं और हम लोग आज डिप्लोमा इन फैशन डिज़ाइन पे चर्चा करेंगे, पर्टिकुलरली BFD 76 में फैशन फोरकास्टिंग. It's a very important aspect if you see in the fashion ecosystem, fashion industry. It's play a very important role, significant role. Many of us, we don't know also up as a student, as a learner, this may be the first time you are listening कि fashion forecasting क्या है, क्यों है, क्या इसकी आवश्यकता है. But if you, once you see, you will go through these things, this understanding about the concept, its importance, then you will know how much it's important for this industry, particularly for the fashion industry, how it's play a very significant role into it by seeing to it कि किसी सीज़न में, किसी टाइम पे, किसी समय के लिए और कब से स्टार्ट करना है इस पे थिंकिंग. एंड it's based on the lot of facts, lot of data, lot of trends. It is not simply जो एक preconceived notion से if we can say no this color will be suit to in the coming season. No, it's depend upon lot of factors. So as a being a student of diploma in fashion design program, so you should understand, and this will as we in the अपने इंडक्शंस में हमने जो आपको बताया था, this will leads to your certain jobs. If you develop this competency in yourselves, this is definitely it's going to help you. तो इसमें आप इसकी गंभीरता से समझें और कोई इससे रिलेटेड कोई भी प्रश्न है आप अभी पूछें, अन्यथा आप जैसा कि हम हमेशा अपनी परिचर्चा में अपने डिस्कशन में आपको बताते हैं, if you write to us, we'll be very happy to address this issue because we want you that you should contribute to this fashion ecosystems well after completing this program. So without taking much time, I will request Dr. Divya, just let our learners know, understand about why ecosystem and certain terms are with this fashion forecastings. कैसे करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं, कब करते हैं, what is the way, how to do it.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and welcome learners to this today's discussion on the topic that is fashion forecasting. So this particular topic, this is one of the unit of your course, that is BFD 076 Textile and Fashion Retailing. So this is the 16th unit of your this particular course, Textile and Fashion Retailing. So as sir has already said that fashion forecasting is one of the important portion or section of fashion industry that we have, because everything or any fashion, whether it is of garment, accessories, anything which is in the fashion industry that we see, it is not that it comes suddenly into the market. But before that, before coming into the market, there is lot of researches and analysis is being done to what product will be in the present time, what people will demand. That all is the fashion forecasting. So we many times when we as a consumer we go to buy anything, when we go or see that something is into the fashion, so we assume how this particular design, particular type of color or any fabric it is into the design and many people are wearing. So have you ever wondered how trends like wide leg jeans or neon colors that suddenly appear everywhere? So it's not a magic, it is the fashion forecasting that people in the industry, they are involved in analyzing the things, and according to that they forecast that this particular type of jeans or this type of colors will be into the fashion. So it is not easy to guess what people are going to buy in the upcoming season. Like when we know that fashion industry, there are two seasons, that is summer and winter season. So according to that, fashion designers or the marketers or the producers or manufacturers who are involved in the industry, they prepare what the product they want to launch in the upcoming season. So therefore, to ensure that what is to be produced is also sold effortlessly. It is not that anything that you are producing or manufacturing, any garment or any accessories, you introduce into the market, but the main purpose is to make such type of product that it should be sold very effortlessly, and it should be buyed or it should be liked by number of peoples. So this is how forecasting is very important. So fashion forecasting is the process of predicting upcoming trends in clothing, colors, fabrics and style, which all is related to fashion. So these prediction guides the designers, the retailers and the brand in planning the future collection, what they want to or what they have to collect or design for the future season. So fashion move very fast and fashion industry is very dynamic. So there is a need of forecasting, because forecasting helps the fashion industry reduce the risk, stay competitive into the market and respond to consumer demand before it happens. So to be, as it is very dynamic, so we have to go with the pace of the dynamic or changes that is happening in the fashion industry. So in that process we also have to reduce the risk, because designing or developing any fashion product, it needs lots of money or investment into that. So we do not have to waste the resources. So in that case we have to analyze the demand of the consumer very wisely, so that to reduce the risk and also to stay competitive into the market. So there are different terms when we are talking about the fashion forecasting. There are different terms that you need to understand very carefully before we go into detailed discussion with the forecasting. So there are different terms that we use very often, that is fashion. Fashion, what sometimes fashion and style we correlate or we use that in the interchange, but fashion is a form of self-expression and autonomy expressed through clothing, footwear, accessories, makeup, hairstyle and lifestyle. So in combine of all these, that whether it is clothing, footwear, accessories, makeup, hairstyle and lifestyle, in whole we can say it as a fashion. So it reflects the culture, social, economic influences and often changes over time, which is driven by the trend and innovation. So anything which a designer they introduce into the market, it also affect the fashion, whether what is into the trend. If any innovation is introduced in the fashion industry, it also affects the fashion. So in fashion industry, the word fashion is understood as a set of trend in clothing, accessories, hair or makeup that is adopted by large number of individuals at a specific point of time. So in short, we can understand that any fashion, whether it is any type of garment, whether it is any type of footwear, accessories, bags or any color which is adopted or which is worn by large number of people, we can say it is a fashion. Then there is one different term that is we have to understand is the style. So how fashion is different from style? So the word fashion and style are not identical in meaning. So as explained by the editor-in-chief of a very popular magazine Vogue, so he said that fashion comes and goes, but style is forever. So fashion, as right now we discussed, so anything which is in trend and it is adopted by large number of people, it is fashion. But style is which is forever, like there is some type of prints that is going from season to season and people still they are wearing it. So that is the style. So we can say that style may refer to characteristic way in which an individual expresses oneself, wherein clothing items, accessories or hairstyle may be worn singly or in a combination with each other. So that is to style appearance. Suppose there is a print, any traditional print or embroideries, that is a style because it is forever, but it is not in fashion. We cannot say it as a fashion because it is for forever. So style may also refer to the key details that characterize an item of clothing. For example, any denim or top stitched or dressed. So these type of fashion that is we discuss, it comes under the style. Then there is one term that we generally use is trend. So how fashion, style and trend. Trend means refers to a directional look that finds wide acceptance across the market of a particular place at a specific point of time. So we can say trend and fashion, it is almost similar because anything, whether it is type of fabric or color, so it becomes trend because it is at specific point of time, it is liked by people and people are accepting in large number. So in other words, we can also say fashion trend, it refers to a particular clothing item. That is, it can be color, it can be any silhouette of a garment that becomes popular as a new look. Trend is temporary as the direction of design, color, fabric changes with time and are replaced by new trend. Suppose in this summer season, some people they are going to buy light colors or cool colors. So that is a trend in this particular season, but it is not important or necessary that after some time that will be in trend. It can change according to the time. So these are different terminologies that we discussed, which is very important in fashion industry. Now let us see what are different factors that influences fashion. So there are many factors or components that affects the fashion in the industry. First, the most important factor is the fashion cycle. So fashion cycle, when we say, if you have studied in the study material, there is a graph we have given, that is a graph which shows a bell-shaped design, which means that the fashion is a cyclic in nature and it keeps on changing with the time. So factors, there are different factors which causing fashion to change. It includes such as season, occasion, media, national and international events, socio-economic factors, regional and religion and customs, and human factors like boredom. So these are different factors that affect the fashion cycle. So fashion cycle, it is the lifespan of any fashion item in which it goes through 5 stages. When you see that graph, that bell-shaped graph, first step is the introductory phase. Introductory phase means that introduction of any new style into the market. Suppose you are a designer, you have developed a design. First thing that you will do, you will introduce that particular design into the market. Then second step or the second stage of fashion cycle is the increase in the demand. As you have introduced that design into the market, people are getting aware of your design and there will be an increase in a demand of that particular design and sales will rise. Then at third stage, there is that is the highest point of that bell, that is the peak in popularity. That at one particular time there will be a maximum demand of that particular design or product that you have developed. Then at fourth stage, there will be a decline in demand. After some months or some time of some interval, there will be a point of time that people will start disliking or demanding something new. So that will be the decline in the demand stage, that will fall in the sale you will see in that particular product. And finally at the stage 5, there will be the obsolescence, that is rejection of the previously popular style, and they want to move towards the new style, or they will be demanding some new design or item into the market. So in this way we can see the fashion cycle in the 5 stages. Then the different factors that influence the fashion cycle. First is the cultural influence, which is very important, because in our country people usually choose to have fashion, whether it is clothing or any fashion product, they choose according to their tradition, their values and belief that impact their clothing choices. That suppose there are many people that in India there is a sari, which is very traditional clothing, we can say. In Japan there is a kimono, which is the traditional costume of Japan, or use of specific colors in cultural ceremonies. There are different cultures, they have one specific color that they will be using in their any traditional ceremonies. Then there is a social factor which influences the fashion, like influenced by class, age, gender, occupation and peer group. So these all influence as a social factor to the fashion. Then we have the media and celebrities as a factor, like movies, TV show, social media and fashion influencers. They shape the public taste. For example, any celebrity wearing any designer dress can make it instant popular. So we also see, if we are seeing any advertisement in any social media platform or on television, if we see that any celebrity is wearing that particular garment, you are more impressed to that particular product and you are liking to buy that product if you are seeing and you are liking that product. So it influences very instantly on the consumer. So media and celebrity is one of the important factor. Then we have the technology. Technology is one of the factor in today's scenario, that we see that innovation in different fabrics, production technique and digital design tool impact, that is what possible in fashion. So there are different technologies that are introduced in the fashion industry, like we are having the 3D printings on the fabric, we have smart textiles, sustainable fabric. So all these innovations and the technological development that we are seeing in fashion industry, it is also influencing the fashion changes. Then we have the economic condition, like in time of economic prosperity, fashion trend to be more experimental and luxurious. Like as the status of people are increasing, they start to have more branded products or designer clothes. So this is very important factor, that economical condition. Then we have the fashion industry itself, which is most important factor we can say in the industry. Sometimes the designers or the fashion houses, trend forecaster and the brand, they constantly introduce new style to influence the market. So in the fashion forecasting or knowing the taste of the consumer is one aspect, but if the industry or the designer they have created something new, they can introduce into the market anytime, and which influences or changes the fashion at any point of time. So these are different factors that influence the fashion. Then when we are talking about the fashion forecasting, so what is fashion forecasting? As we know that fashion, right now we discussed that fashion is very dynamic and it changes from season to season and according to the industry also. So fashion forecasting is a process of predicting future fashion trend, including the style, color, fabric, silhouettes that will be popular in the upcoming season. And it helps the designer, retailer and brand to anticipate the consumer preference so that they can plan collection, marketing and production in the advance. So main purpose of fashion forecasting is to know or to anticipate what consumer is demanding and what is the preference of the consumer. Suppose in this summer season, their prediction was that people will like more soft or sustainable fabrics with light colors. There will be a demand of this type of some particular silhouette. So this was predicted beforehand, 2 to 3 months before of coming to the season. So this process, it minimizes the risk of the manufacturer, of the marketer, or any retailer to be competitive into the market. So the main this is how we know the fashion forecasting, to predict what fashion will be in the next season. Now, what is fashion forecasting? So there are different key aspects of fashion forecasting on which we have to go for the process of forecasting. First is the trend analysis, in which we identify patterns in current fashion, culture, and consumer behavior. Second is market research. We have to do a good study on sales data, social media, and street style to understand what people are wearing and buying. Creative insight, like combining data with culture and aesthetic awareness to spot the emerging trends where people are demanding more. And time frame, like in fashion forecasting, we have different time frame according to which forecaster they have to predict. It's like there is a short term forecasting and there is long term forecasting. So short term forecasting, 1 to 2 season ahead people are going to predict. It generally influenced by the pop culture or the streetwear. Then there is a long term forecasting, which is generally done 2 to 5 years ahead, which is influenced by the technology, global events, or any lifestyle changes. So these are different key forecasting aspects that we have to see before doing the forecasting. Now, why we do the forecasting in fashion industry? So as from the beginning we are discussing that it is very important in fashion industry, to forecast what will be the in upcoming season. So fashion forecasting is done to predict the future consumer preference and help the fashion industry make informed decision about the design, production, and marketing. And some different why this is important. First is to meet the consumer demand. Like if we are not into the market, we are designer or manufacturer or retailer, and we do not know the demand of the consumer, so we will not produce or develop the right product for the market. So to meet the consumer demand, forecasting helps the brand and know what style, color, and fabric is required by the consumer. Second is to reduce the risk, like designing and producing fashion is very expensive. Forecasting minimizes the risk of creating the collection. So it is very important. Then to stay competitive in the market, because it is very dynamic. So before developing anything, we should analyze, or we should have a good research on what people want to, so that we are not behind what is demanded by the consumer in the market. So we have to stay competitive and plan ahead, like what designer, retailers, and manufacturer need, it should be demanded. Then first, when we have to do that, we right now discuss that there is a 2 type of forecasting, short term and long term. And lastly, who does the forecasting? So basically, people who are involved in fashion forecasting are generally the designer, the merchandiser, and the marketing or the sales manager. So these are the person in the fashion industry who are responsible to do the forecasting.
Thank you, Dr. Divya. You have covered very broadly the aspects of the fashion forecasting, why we do the forecasting, who do the forecasting, fashion forecasting, and how we do it. As in the beginning I have told you, it's a very important aspect in the fashion industry. As being students of a diploma in fashion design program, you should be, I think so, with our discussions you now are aware about कि कैसे it's helping to the industry. So you need to do research, you need to study the trend, how it's happening. You need to visit the trades, markets, show. There are very prominent global fashion forecasters in the world. Similarly, also you can think also of in this area by developing this competency, by understanding these concepts. So right from beginning, if you can do it, definitely you can excel in this areas by acquiring these skills, this competency, and this is going to help you. So thank you very much for watching us and listening us. And I hope if you have queries, please write to us. We will be very happy to answer those queries. Thank you.
Thank you.